Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages. My name is Evil Dragon, and welcome along to One Hub Racing. Welcome to the Prospect here, and welcome to the old favourite Twitch, or YouTube, depending if you're watching this after it's live, it'll be on YouTube, but hello Twitch, because we are live to you right now, and welcome along to what is round 6 of this beautiful season here at the Circuit de Barcelona at Catalonia, a circuit which first hosted a race back in 1991. 4.65 kilometres, 16 turns, 9 to the right, 7 to the left. Of course, historically, Verstappen took his first win here in 2016. Michael Schumacher took his first win for Ferrari in 1996. Around a circuit, like I said, first hosted a race in 1991. Schumacher and Hamilton, the joint equal most successful drivers here with 6 apiece. Ferrari with 13. But joining me in this lovely commentary box this afternoon, it is my good friend, Mr. Brendan White. Say hello, my friend.
Hello there, and it is, well, we are just past the halfway point of the season, if I am to be correct in that. So, it's getting a bit closer. Championships, you've got less races to get points, so each race now means a little bit more. What's the Infamous? He took the win last week despite an engine penalty, meaning he was not able to qualify, so it is looking well for Infamous here.
Indeed it is. Also turned the music down in the game because for some reason it got blasted to den, which is unfortunate, but that happens. But yeah, like I said, last week Infamous from last to first in the standings. He is a man going to be on a mission. Jacko, will he finish today? Well, we put a bet on it and he said, well, he's on the form he's got, he should win this race because he didn't practice the last two and he DNF. So in theory, he's going for a win. In terms of our favourite little stat, by the way, whilst you're just waiting, it is Montana on, well, actually, first, whilst we're here, we're going for our sponsors, actually, why don't we? Because that is something we can do right now. And to our sponsors, Next Level Racing, sponsor League by providing prizes. Pure Sim Gear, sponsor the league by providing a pair of their sim racing gloves to the driver of most combined poles and fastest lap. To our partners, our lovely partners, by the way, to Vespertine, partners of Vespertine who support our championship prizes, to ERT, partner of the ERT Go and Get Tough Award and League trophies, and also to SimGrid, which is, of course, where we get all the lovely standings and everything from, who, of course, run our community platforms through that, which I like, because it's all nice and snazzy. I like nice and snazzy things. Right, now, in terms of the standings, by the way, ways to go through them, talking of SimGrid, it is Infamous, who is the top of the standings, 81 points from Razeman in P2, 63 for him. Whopping Proverb, who will start from the back, because he is one of the 3 drivers with the quali situation, where he does not set a lap in quali. He's on 60 points. Sully in 4th, ahead of Jamie, Jacko, Waze, you having a giggle, ahead of Kingan, Smithy in 10th, Mason Jr. in 11th, or as I keep calling him, Mason Senior, I suppose. Alex Lilliard in 12th. Jess in 13th position. 14th for TJ. Matthias in 15th. Storm will not be here today because he's having an operation on his foot. So we do wish him all the well. Jason in 17th. Aiden 18th. Indecisive 19th. And of course, your 2 non-starters of this season, Pav and Joa, who have both been, unfortunately, disqualified. Though I'm not 100% sure what for. No one's actually ever told me, so I suppose I don't need to know on that one. But, in terms of who is doing what, it is NSX Montana. He is the best driver so far today with 11.55 in the quali ranking, 18.8 on the race ranking, but 94.84 in terms of the overall ranking from Danestar. Of course, if you're wondering who's the highest driver in our tier, it is Infamous, 10.35 in terms of quali ranking, and 18 exact for the race ranking. Tom in 4th, ahead of Scorpion, Oasis. Then we've got ST Matt, Henry, Toma, then comes Gazman, then comes up another man, it's Rageman, 7.2 for him, and 18.5 for his race pace, so a lot better in terms of race than quali. Samba behind in 12th, ahead of Legend, Rydell in 14th, ahead of Speedjish in 15th, Whopping Proverb in 16th from an 8.28 and a 16.20 for him in terms of his score. Cam, who is our creator of this lovely little spreadsheet. I don't know how he does the numbers, but I'm sure he can tell me sometime. He is on 7.95 in the race, and it is a 16 in terms of the qualifying from Rogue, Casper, and Kieran. Unfortunately, the man who's been in here for so long, Jamie, he's been knocked out. And I'm sad. He's 21st, Brendan. We don't see the 21st, though.
Yeah, it is unfortunate. Jamie has been done very well for himself this season, as he took the win at the opening round of the Prospect Tier season here at Japan. We've been able to make his 2 stops early on in the race with the safety car. He was able to go to the end and hold on for victory.
Indeed. We are just getting ready to go in, well, exactly 13 seconds for all 15 drivers ahead of us. What is going to be an interesting race. A lot of action still to come around a circuit which I've seen some very memorable moments. Like I said, first hosted in 91, we saw, of course, Senna and I believe it was Mansell going wheel to wheel down the straight back then. Of course, 96, we saw that classic drive, Michael Schumacher winning by 56 seconds on that day, I think it was. And more recently as well, Pastor Maldonado's first win in 2012. We are on the 13th, and it is also a Friday, so if something goes wrong for one of these drivers, then we potentially know why. Max Verstappen also took his first win here in 2016. Such a long time ago right now when you think of it. We're on a circuit which has undergone a few changes over the years. Most crucially, of course, is the exit of turn number 7. That used to be a lot more flowing, a lot more wide. You can still see the turn 9, might I say. It used to go a little bit wider. You used to have a chicane back there in 94 after Senna. Instead, of course, turn 10, now reprofiled for the 3rd time in its history to the more wider variations, more like it used to be back in the old days. And of course, turn 13 to 16, that's changed a lot, as it used to be a quick right-hander. Might come a quick right-hander next year because it is now grade 1. But of course, in 2007, 2008, that got the added chicane around there. So, here we are in qualifying, Brendan, and this could be all very interesting.
Yep, the weather looks overcast for both quali and the race, so obviously Spain, one of them tracks where, while usually, even without the mandatory 2 stops, you'd nearly do it anyways, so drivers will probably feel it'll be like soft, medium, I would say, depending on what tire you start on. And I would also, I'm just gonna note, as to your point of about the turn 13 to 16 chicane, they're going to make the old layout grade 1 standard as well. So now there is a possibility that next year we'll see the old layout for the final couple of corners return.
Indeed, as I mentioned and alluded to earlier, this circuit, of course, very fantastic. First driver on the circuit, by the way, that is Jason, and that is almost not fantastic through turn 11. Got a little bit wide, got on the curb, and he's on an outlap. Doesn't want to drop it on his outlap. That would be most certainly catastrophic for him, but he's going to get himself ready to go then here in qualifying. And let's go and run on board with him then and see what he can do. He's so far having a bit of a quiet season on his behalf, I believe. He's currently down in, 15th in the standings, I think it said a second ago. So he needs to try and get a good qualifying in. Indeed, let's have a look at the standings. Down in 17th for him, as finished 4th last time out, Lope, so fair enough to him. He's on hopefully a bit of a streak. Like I said that a few people and they didn't finish. But down towards turn number 1, late braking as you come through. And oh dear, Mason. And that, I'm afraid, that might get himself in a bit of bother, unfortunately. And unsighted potentially, as into the rear goes the Alpha Tauri. Next up, though, I suppose we'll cut to Rageman, who is going to be on a lap then as he comes through turn 1 and 2 into 3, and then up to Repsol turn number 4. Very easy to make a mistake for here as you come up to it, as he chucks it in there, a little bit of a twitch as he comes down into Repsol into 4, and then split your braking zone. Daniel braking as you come into 5. Very easy to snag a brake and lock up. especially because it under-rotates on the front left, but he seems to go it well. But he has invalidated, so we'll cut to the next car, which is going to be Jacko. There he is, my friend, who I've cursed every single race since he won a race. Let's see if he manages to finish a race this time, if that makes sense, as he comes up into 7. Builds the speed up as you're now right over the crest up to 8. This is where Brendan Hartley had his big crash in 2018. We've seen many a car have a twitch through there as well. Into 9. As Indecisive has retired, I believe, in the pit lane. So I think he was one of the drivers that had his quali thing, wasn't it? So that's why. As
so.
Jacko through 12 into Europe car, might I say, turn 13, 14 is the RACC corner, which stands for something. I'm not 100% sure, as he come into the last corner, which is named Catalonia, and Jacko, for the first time to set in qualifying, will go obviously into P1. Next up to cross the line behind him, we've got the Mercedes of Sully on the medium side. Let's see if he can displace his teammate. Across the line he comes. P2 for him. Across the line it comes Smithy. P3 at 135 for him. Behind the Lem will come Infamous. Then let's see what he goes. 117.9 then for him. Goes a little bit quicker. 0.2 of a second. Behind Lem we will have, I'm presuming that'll be Kingan, going through the back end of the circuit in the Williams. Through the chicane. Left, right. So horrible that chicane, I must say. Rear end ever so slightly steps. He comes through the last corner into Catalonia and across the line. And let's see if he can get himself up into P1. The answer to that is yes, he can.
Yeah, so, honestly, as we were saying, Indecisive, he retired because one driver took a penalty. As Jets also retired. Then Whopping Proverb, who has been in this championship fight, he is taking his penalty down, given that Infamous was able to pretty much take full points despite his penalty last week. It would not be great for him or pretty much anyone else in this championship fight, as I said later, well, it not even the mandatory engine penalty would have to be taken.
Indeed. By the way, Mason Barlow just went up to P1 whilst well, I say that, and then Infamous goes P1, so never mind. As Infamous then slots himself into P1, but on board with Matthias, he comes down the straight towards turn 1. Infamous just up the road right there. Chuck it in there, spot the braking zone on the left. Chucks it into the right, 4th gear through here, builds up the revs nice and gently then for the Haas drive as you rise up over this on the inside there. Infamous getting very out of the way, which is lovely to see, as chucking it through into 4 and 5. This is, of course, for the easy corner, like I said, to lock up. It's down the brake to go. Also very easy to go wide, I must say, on the exit and validate your lap time. It's so, what's the word, enticing to go out wide, and it'll just catch you at the snap of fingers. This corner's up very easy to get unsettled as you come up over the crest, and then into this one. Flat out nearly on the curb on the outside. I've seen many a car come a cropper. Like there, you can see on the bump, the car slightly twitches. You now come in to what is the, well, what isn't a corner anymore, but what is a corner on this game still. Of course, in real life, they use the more wider variations. You now come up through the last sector, spot the braking zone on the left as well. Wherever it is, there it is. He seems to have done that pretty well. That's the car will rotate out to the curves, then chuck it left and right over those sausages. And up to the line is Purple Sector 1, Purple Sector 2. And the question is it a Purple Sector 3? Crosses the line right now. Let's see, will he go and put himself up to P1? The answer to that is only 5th position for him.
Yeah, it didn't seem like a Purple Sector on the TAS anyway. So what I'm going to have to say, actually, just want to make a mention of Jacko, who was on the mediums with a 118.1. That is a very nice lap time for a sole compound tyre.
Yeah, most certainly is. You're having a giggle. Meanwhile, splits the two Mercedes in 7th position. We're watching down the field to see who's next. Jason, who's invalidated. We've got TJ coming through the back end of the circuit right behind as well. This is what he can do. Chucks it into those last 2 corners. That look a little bit more comfortable for him than some of the others. Chucks it into the left, chucks it into the right. Could see the curb though, ever so slightly bumping it. He's bumped out a little bit too wide, so unfortunately that's going to go down as an invalidation as we look to see who's next to start a lap time. We've got a McLaren starting a lap time. We've got Jamie through the last corner as well. So a few people starting their lap. As we've got Jacko crossing the line right now. P6 to start his lap time as well. So quite a few starting the lap time right now.
Look at some of the lap times being posted. See Jacko, it's looking competitive on the softs here for him. 2/10, 2.5 up on first sector in the mediums, so we'll see more improvement. So coming up towards turn 9, it is looks stable. So now see, he is almost half a second up. That's quicker than Infamous's best, Infamous's second sector. However, not as quick as Mason's second sector, although Mason may be in a bit of trouble for what happened there at start quali. So now Jacko through that chicane. And now through the final right-hander, and it across the line. It is P2.
And
last
Jamie,
sector just
P4 as well. Sorry to cut over you there so slightly, but Jamie up to P4. That is what he needs after what he's had a torrid couple of things. Got a lovely toe off of Jacko. I think he just pulled up behind him to say thank you very much. Right there. Next across the line, we have got Smithy on an outlap. We've got the other Mercedes of O'Sullivan coming through the back end of second. He is 9 tenths up on his lap time right now. Comes with the skates left, right, left, and letting down into the last corner into Catalunya. And up to the line, then past the Fly Emirates side. The crowd at the left rising to their feet, and it's P2 then. 1:17.5, just under a 10th of a second off of provisional pole so far. As we now look down the field to see who is next. We've got Jason on a lap time. We've got Rageman on a lap. We've got Mason coming in the pit lane on an invalid lap time. We've got Kingan coming through the last corner. He's 3 tenths up on his lap time, but has invalidated yet again. And this would have been a 17.6, so it would have been 4th to 5th for him right now. As I look now to see who's next. Someone's taking the Ultra again, I can see up the road. Is that TJ doing that? It's the only Aston Martin. It is DJ doing the Ultra games. I look to see who is on a lap time right now.
Oh, interesting from Rageman there. Mediums 1:17.6 with the fastest first sector. However, it does seem like in comparison to others, is last sector isn't that quick. So you can see sometimes the difference maybe in slow corners, just having that grip that's given from the soft tyre can make the difference. So Sully actually go fastest.
Yeah, Sully just goes P1 then. I just noticed it at the same time as I rode on board with Jason. It looked like a very decent first and sector there looking at it. It comes up to the line and let's see where he can do. P3 then. That is very good for him then. So, alongside his teammate, it's the Mercedes Alpha Tauris and then the other Mercedes ahead of the McLarens lining up. Further down the field, in comes King and we're looking to see at Smithy on a lap time right now. We've got Rageman coming through the back end. He'll be coming in the pit lane. So Smithy through turn 9. That looked absolutely fine for him as he uses all of the ERS. Though, is he finishing lap time? Is he going to come in the pit lane? Well, he's a 10th up then in sector 2. As now he chucks it through over the curb, and you want to be doing that too much. Or the right there is Matthias, who's dropped it in the gravel trap just ahead of him, but keeps out of the way. Nice to see as you chuck it through into that chicane. A big clout to the curb right there, and that is not you want to be doing. Another big clout to the curb, and another one for good measure. Rear end steps out, and he is validated, and he will now not set lap time, and that might invalidate his next one, which is a real shame.
That would be a very unfortunate thing, obviously. Getting this and next lap invalidated is often the worst kind of feeling, as it's you then have to go round, or you have to decide I'm going to pull into the pits now and switch, because there'd be no, by the time you'd actually get round, you either have no fuel or you'd have nowhere near enough grip to actually do a lap.
Indeed, indeed. Looking through, you having a giggle. He's invalidated. We've got Smithy. He's invalidated. Jason. Has he invalidated? No, he hasn't. Well, he's certainly going for a little push lap right now, isn't he? As we ride on board then with the AlphaTauri right on the edge of limits. You now come into 4:43.100 down on his first sector. That's still very decent, matching his pace so far as he chucks it in. Gets the front end rotated as you come through 5 up to 6 with the little left-hander, and then breaks it down into 7. This corner very easy to rotate around, as you can see right there, as you come up through 8 and then into 9th, and he's backed up his lap time already. So that might be the end of his lap time. It all came undone at turn 7.
Alright, so it just doesn't happen, but you still have about 4 and a bit minutes. More than enough time to get into the pits, switch tyres, get out again, go for another run if you want. Or maybe you feel like just go again straight away just for peace of mind and not let the hour linger. And so you probably see some people coming out for their final runs now in the next 2 minutes. Just to not have to try rush out, but not be so early that you wouldn't really be able to gain from the track evolution.
Smithy coming through turn 7 right now. The track evolution, like you said, it definitely is ramping up. The sun is shining, and it's certainly beautiful conditions around here in Barcelona. As up through Smithy comes, and lap time gets the car rotated in and into turn number 9, and let's see if it looked pretty decent. Took a little bit more of a shallow line right there, a little bit more conservative as he comes across the sector split. 10th up on his lap time right now. Could try and displace Keegan as he now comes through into this corner, which has caught a few people out as he just feathers the throttle through that to make sure the front or the rear doesn't slide as he now comes back through the last couple of corners into 3rd up to 4th, down into 2nd gear. Little bit hesitant trying to get the car to turn in, a little bit twitchy on the rear. This is going to be his last lap time. That's not what we're going to be doing for the last corner either. And a big moment, crosses the line and loses 2 attempts as well. All really came undone at the last sector, just did not look placed at all. As we've got Mason on a lap right now. He is 3 attempts up in sector 2. And this is very nice lap so far from Mason. He gets it all hooked up into the chicane. And this then, hopefully, is going to be a bit of an improvement then for Mr. Mason Jr. Senior, as I will keep calling him. As across the line he will come. P2! What a lap time from Mason there. And now a look across the line is going to come Rageman. He's invalidated, however. Behind them, looking to see who's on a lap time. We've got potentially Smithy on a lap time. So let's see, I think he's backed out of his lap time actually. So looking through, we've got Sully. He's going even quicker so far. We've got both the AlphaTauris on their respective outlaps as well. But riding aboard of Sully, left and right through the chicane. It's all nice and smooth for him. Gets the last corner hooked up. And can he extend his provisional pod? Can he get in the 16s? No, he can't. Nearly does. 17-0.
I think he'll be happy with that lap. I don't think he'd be going for a second push lap here unless he wants to just save tyres, although it seems like he's going to keep going. Because maybe he's like, I can't bank on that time just yet.
Oh, someone's gone off at turn 9 there. I think that was an Aston Martin potentially who just lost the rear. Didn't hit the wall too heavily, but definitely was on the grass side of the wall. As we look at Jacko then, let's see what he can do. The man who has DNF'd in the last 2 races will certainly hope to finally get his season back running after that victory at Belgium. Across the line comes Jacko. Can he be on pole? The answer is no. He's 5 attempts down for him, as now we cut to Infamous. 3 attempts up on his lap time, was very wide, but gets it in the track limit. This is going to be the lap of his life then. Can he get it on pole? Lane 1's too wide, and that's not the lap of his life. It's the devastation of his life. And what would it have been? It would have been a 17-2, so it would have been P2, but it will only be P3 at the best. As we now look to see who's on a lap time. We've got Keegan 4 attempts up for him. Purple sector 2 for him, though he drifts wide, keeps in the track limits, and the car isn't going to help him, though, as round he goes into the gravel. And that's there, trouble for him, and he was looking so good as well, as now Matthias comes up through. And like we saw earlier with Matthias spinning, another one's claimed that corner as now Matthias comes through the last couple of corners. And what Willer has to, into the last corner, gets it all hooked to the line. Let's see, then he has to try and beat 10th position, 118.0 to beat, and he does not do so. Jamie, P4, brilliant that time for him. Meanwhile, as we look down to see who is on a lap time, we've got you having a giggle then through the last corner, and Jacko, P1. Well, I didn't see that one there, but Jacko P1, giggle in P11, but Jacko with a flyer.
Monster last sector that is the difference there as well. The sector 2 was good, the sector 3 was even better, but almost 2/10 faster than his teammates, so much like Formula 1 from 2014 to 2021, looks like a Mercedes 1 and 2. Unless Sully has anything to say here, which he doesn't.
He doesn't, unless Matthias, who is still on a lap time to be fair, has anything to do. 3 seconds down, so unless he's going for the 3-second down lap time, that is qualifying over. So Jacko from Sully, Mason in fantastic form yet again in third from Infamous, Jamie ahead of Jason, so it is the double J in 5th and 6th, ahead of Rageman in 7th, Kingan in 8th, Smithy, Matthias, Giggle, and then TJ, and we are of course waiting for Indecisive, Open Proverb, who of course and Jess, all 3 of those, of course, not saying lap times because they have served their new engine, as well as in comes Matthias. Was actually 81,000 up at sector 1 there, interesting enough, as he comes into the pit, stops it on the marks, and that there qualifying, hopefully, over.
Yep, that should be it. So, looks like the Mercedes managed to find their form in Barcelona.
Indeed, we're just waiting for a few seconds, I believe, for the last couple of fingers to flick over. But like I said, though, it is a very commanding performance there from the top 2 Mercedes drivers of Jacko and his lovely teammate as well. And I mean, that is exactly what Jacko needs there to get pole position. He's had a torrid, in his own case, a torrid last couple of races. And I certainly hope that this potentially is a change of fortune for him.
Yep, so Mercedes, who haven't had the best form, but have, in my opinion, have been fairly quick drivers. It looks like they've put together, for now anyway, but as North Daniel Ricciardo, only 50% done.
Indeed, as we look through the field, good to say hello to Gazman, who's in the chat as well. But like I said, Jacko on P1, he's got a lot to work for. Cloudy conditions for the race, no rain is forecast. So I think the drivers will be enthralled about that one, because a rain race around Barcelona is actually quite fun in my opinion. But I suppose for the drivers that's not, of course. And if you're just joining us, welcome to the Circuit of Barcelona, Catalonia. Here today, 4.655 kilometers, 16 turns, 9 to the right, 7 to the left. 33 laps ahead of the drivers around a circuit. Well, most successful driver Lewis Hamilton and Michael Schumacher Ferrari with 13 wins total here. Verstappen, by the way, fast lap of all time around here in race trim, 118.149. So that is the time which we might see potentially today. I wonder, could always be seeing that. Verstappen's first win here came here in 2016. Michael Schumacher's first win in Ferrari in 1996. 2012 for Pastor Maldonado, of course, the number 13. And of course, we are here on Friday the 13th. Spooky season is upon us for this one day only as well. And I tell you what, it's a bit of a spooky situation for Jacko right now. He's back on pole.
Yep. No, he just has to try and hold on to that pole. So, let's do 2 stops. It'd be interesting seeing now, what will the choice be? Will you be going for 2 fast stints at start, maybe 2 sets of softs? Or will you go with mediums? And then see where where it goes. Maybe, obviously, soft, medium, medium will probably be the conventional strategy in my opinion. But maybe someone could go for 2 sets of the soft tyres if they feel like they can manage the mediums well enough.
Indeed, like I said, top 6 on the soft tyres, Rageman on the mediums, King and Smithy Matthias all on the softs, so the rest down the back on a set of medium tyres, all hoping to get out of trouble. Don't forget, mandatory 2-stop if you are new to our little lovely one-hub walls. I almost said something else then, but that confuses as I'm looking at Jacko, currently in P1. And he's going to have to hope for a good result here today. Like I said, has not finished any race I've commentated on since he won at Barcelona. So if he DNFs here today, I am confirming that I have actually given him a proper curse. But let's hope not, shall we, Mr. Brendan?
Yep, indeed. So, no, obviously Rageman, I have to make a mention of him on the mediums. It's a decent choice, and he's got a solid starting position for that tyre. Question is then, can he avoid being swallowed up at the start by the soft runners behind? Because if he does, it will compromise his strategy massively, but if he doesn't get swallowed up, and he just holds position, then this could turn into a very nice race for him, with maybe some very good pace late on in the stint. Obviously, provided stellar trouble and no safety cars and that, which may well happen. Everyone lining up on the grid now.
Yep, we are just waiting then for the last car of Jess to cross the line then to begin this race. The driver who's finished in the top 10 in most of the races, Jess, hoping for potentially another strong afternoon on the circuit, which is very easy to overtake on. We've seen many a battle, but in just a few seconds' time, who are we going to be seeing here at Barcelona then? With 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. Look, but never stare, because here in Spain we are away, and it looks like a stonking start again from Jacko, but a better start from his teammate. A very good start from his teammate. In comes Sally then to lead today, as Jacko there in a second up the inside there. One of the Alpha Tauris there of Jason, they're getting a good start. Passing their Infamous on the outside as well. On the grass there is someone off the road. Who is that there? Was that look like it might be King and having a mistake? There's an Alpine going around as well in the middle of the pack of Smithy and Aston Martin down the back as well in trouble. Oh, sort of carnage, but it is Sally leading, Jason in second there. Third for Jacko, Infamous in fourth, Mason down into fifth ahead of Rageman, Giggle ahead of Matthias. Lane comes Jamie up to ninth. He's dropped a few positions at the start of this race. Comes indecisive, we got more trouble at the back there as well. Whopping Proverb up a few positions, Jess as well, taking position at the start of this race. Lane comes TJ Smithy, and down the back, King and having a dreadful start. Down 7th, I'm not sure what happened there. Had a huge wobble on the exit of turn number 2 into 3. Got on the gravel, it looked like. Luckily enough, didn't end up wiping someone else out. But it's Sally leading, Jason in second. We've got another car off the road there. And is that you having a giggle gone off in the middle of the road? It is, as Jess comes through, as he reverses off the track. Gets the car rotated back around, but all sorts of drama so far this afternoon.
Indeed.
Giggle and Kingan coming together there. I don't think they meant to do that. Kingan's letting him back through as they came together. Got on the curb. I think Giggle's letting him back through. What's going on there? As those two switch positions, trying to sort each other out. Both of them have damage, we believe, but it is Jason running a little bit wide. It's Sully leading so far. Jacko now in third ahead of Infamous, who has taken the last 2 victories this season. He is on a roll, the championship leader on 81 points, and he is by far a man on a mission, as I say, that goes nearly straight off the road.
I have to say here, it was Mason who I believe got the best start out of him in the Mercedes, but he pretty much got boxed out by Jacko, so that meant he had to pretty much lift off the throttle a little, and it resulted in him getting passed by Infamous and Jason. So I'd have to say, sometimes having a good start can nearly be just about...
yellow flag, that is Jason, my goodness, and off another one, Matthias. dropping it there, trying to get out of the way. Both cars dropping off the road. As we see, Jason gets a good start. He's on a roll, potentially. He's only gone and dropped it. And, well, Brendan, welcome to the little club. Then, so far, of curses. Now, I will not be surprised to see people in the pit lane by lap 6 or 7, because these tyres around here overheat absolutely superiorly, as here comes Whopping Proverb into 8th position, passing indecisive, but Jason and Matthias both dropping it at the exact same moment.
Yeah, it's not often you see two cars just drop at the same place without some other external circumstance causing it, let's say rain or whatever. But it's happened, and that's it for like the Rage Man. This is brilliant news. He's P5, and well, you'd have to say then there's a window of opportunity for him later on in this race, and especially as these soft tyres will already be not in the best of shape, because the lap around Spain, it pretty much tests everything. The high speed corners, the sector 1, the medium speed is sector 2, and then obviously low speeds is sector 3. So the tyres do get worked here, and I'd say Rage will be wanting to pass Mason here soon enough, maybe just to get a shot at Infamous.
With the bite of DRS, should be a little bit easier. Is Mason going to cover it? No, he's not. He's going to let his teammate through, I think, then down the straight. That looks a bit more orchestrated than I imagine. As Rageman then slots into 4th, Mason into 5th. Now Rageman can go and try and chase after that. As meanwhile, Jason and Jamie getting awfully close on the exit of turn 2 and 3. And that looked like a super little move then from the AlphaTauri driver, past the Ferrari. The Ferrari's going to come back low on the inside. Thinks about it there, but Jason has a better line. I think actually a little bit further ahead than the camera was showing, is on the outside now. All of a sudden, there is Whopping Proverb taking 7th as well. So Jamie, instead of gaining a position, has lost 2 in a space of what is a few seconds there. So Jamie back down to 8th position. As there, Jason back up to 6th, trying to chase down that. The two McLarens have got a car off. And that you having a giggle, dropping at turn 13, 14 and 15, I believe.
That would be right. Probably just dropped it a little.
Oh, Matthias!
Oh.
He's hit the wall. That is turn 9, and that's an early spin as well. Normally you drop it a lot later on the curb, so he's got the inside curb, and that is dropped it around instead of the outside curb. So that is very surprising. I don't often see it like that. Front left end plate, I believe. Yeah, front right end plate's completely gone. So he'll be straight in the pit lane as there. I thought for a second Jacko wanting to pass Sully. I tell you what, looking back, Infamous starting to close up to the pair of these two now, aren't they?
Yeah, and Infamous, he's going to be helping himself, but also like the Rageman behind. It's just a case of in making sure that you can just try and keep Rageman out with DRS then, because otherwise it just brings another person into play. As you see, well closed up by now is Infamous, well within the second, so he'd be very happy with that.
Indeed, Jacko there you can just see following his teammate. You can see him weaving and moving ever so slowly. He wants to get past Sully, I feel, right now. And he definitely, I think he might have a bit more pace, but can he use it is the question. Are we going to see anyone trying to trigger the undercut strategy is also the wondrous question. I wouldn't be surprised to see Infamous try and do it. We've seen him so often with different strategies. As, you know, I say someone pitting, and then comes the race leader in to cut off any chance of an undercut.
Yeah, I think suddenly he's trying to preempt an undercut here. So is, although Jason I think is going for it, because obviously with that spin he needs something to just bring him back that bit closer at the very least, and this might be the way to do it.
Mediums for the pair of them, I think, is it not? Looks like it, 2 sets of mediums. So up the road you can see Jess there closing up on TJ. We're going to see her move into turn number 1 for Jess there. She's currently back in the top 10 where she's been so far this season. As well as I could say, look at the overall gainers at this race. It is Rageman up 9 for Whopping Proverb, up 6 for Indecisive, 4 and 6 for TJ and Jess as well. Real loser out of this race has got to be Sully so far. He's down 8, but he has stopped. Remember, so that is a slightly skewed thing as well. Jason, who dropped it earlier on, down 6, but that's slightly skewed as well. So it'd be like to Smithy, Matthias, and you having a giggle. All those guys dropping downwards. And surely, Brendan, we're going to see Jacko Infamous in this lap to try and do anything that they can about the likes of Sully.
Yeah, I would assume so. Obviously, Jacko couldn't really pit. Oh,
no, they're going to stay out.
Stay out. Wouldn't be a worse call in the circumstances.
Mason then. Meanwhile, on those soft tyres, you can see they're closing a little bit there, Infamous. Low, he's going to be a little bit day there and a dollar shot from this way back, and as he proves it, doesn't take any unnecessary risk through there. You can see how gently he's getting on the throttle there, because that curve, very easy just to snatch the rear around there. You can see Indecisive now up into 5th position, as we look then down through the field ever so slightly to see all the drivers. You can see there is Sully King and behind Mason coming out the pit. There's going to be awfully close there with Jason, isn't it, into turn number 1? And he's ahead. He is ahead, though. He is coming through turn 1 and 2. These two had a collision here in qualifying, and they almost came together here in the race. Now, has Jason on those tyres that are going to be a lot more pressure, going to look to the inside there, down the inside he goes, gets it stopped, and that is a super late move, and it's brilliant there, as running wide there, Mason keeps it on the island, but late braking, late driving, he had warmer tyres as Mason tried to get those those medium tyres up to temperature, and through now into 10th.
Yep, so Jason getting the move done. I think that undercut has managed to work.
In comes Infamous.
In there. Oh, well, I suppose at least maybe if you have a little different, it means then you can start to chase people down, even if they have undercut you. Well, obviously not in this case for position, but for like gaps. So Jacko clearly going for maybe just a little longer for a stint.
I tell you what, where is Infamous going to come out of this? He's going to come out and he might be just ahead of his teammate. He's going to be in this gaggle of cars as he's going to come out. They're going to go 3-1 on the exit of the pit lane. As here is O'Sullivan there, passing Jess into turn number 1. 3 behind, you can see Infamous just ahead of Kingan as well. That's exactly his crucial on mid-pit, but he's got those Carter tyres. He's going to have to cover it because here comes Kingan. Is he going to think of a move then into the brakes? No, he's not. Sits behind as Infamous now just going to try and pass and charge through behind Jess. Then as Jess in between then these two drivers, and you can see behind the Williams as well, charging and trying to push through the AlphaTauri, as this is opportunistic petitions here, as Infamous needs to get these tyres up to temperature. Those softs behind, remember, and let's have a look on terms of how long they've been on those tyres. 7 laps, remember, so he doesn't want to get caught up behind. As Rage Man takes the lead, as in comes Jacko as well to cover off Infamous. I tell you what, this is really going to help a little bit, isn't it? Because Jess kind of holding up the cars here, and this is all going to help Jacko, isn't it?
As you see how the like of Infamous, the undercut didn't cost him that much at start, but I suggest
Jacko's going to be ahead of him.
Between it is costing it. Let's look at that.
He's going to be ahead of his teammate. Oh, the two Mercedes! Oh, they almost touch in turn 1 as they battle. As he got the inside line, surely no, he has to back out of it. It's still there. Look at the two Mercedes. Then they're going to go wheel to wheel into 4, into 5. Down the inside goes Jacko to take the provisional lead. Then here in Barcelona, and that they're a fantastic in lap, a fantastic out lap, and he'll lead potentially later on. Jess, meanwhile, holding up Infamous, and this is going to be infuriating.
See, it would have seen that this going out, well, staying out a bit longer, had initially worked, but it seems like just caught in the wrong place here.
Is Infamous going to take a lunge here? I fought for it. No. You don't want to do that, my friend.
It's a championship to think about. You can't afford to try a decent, more 95% likely to work, because if he does not work, then
you're going to be in big trouble, aren't you?
Yep, big trouble, and that's how a 20-point championship lead could get whittled down to 5.
Let's see. Surely he's got her now, as their Infamous gobbles up Jess, then down the straight, and they're now into 7th position, but that cost a lot of time, I will say that, and that was brilliant defending. Meanwhile, Sully there battling with TJ, Jacko just up the road, and we're going to see the Aston Martin there getting overtaken by the Mercedes up the inside, late braking, oh, they're going to touch! Oh, how they did not, I don't think they did, as they got awfully close, as now coming through, and these guys, the Mercedes, on fire right now, but how they did not touch that, I don't think TJ nearly saw that one, had to open the door at the last second, as here now, Jacko, coming up to decimate potentially Indecisive's 3rd position. And let's see, Indecisive, I don't think it's going to cover this one too heavily. Breaks a little bit early. Up the inside goes Jacko. Thank you very much, he says, and goes on his merry way just about as I thought Indecisive was going to come back through. But this is looking very good right now for Jacko, isn't it? As now behind, you've got Sully trying to come through as, oh, almost literally comes through his rear end. As we've got now Jason ahead of Jess. So Jess back down into 9th position. Colin up next to Parson. We've seen those two battling so far this season, haven't we? And here is Sully.
Yep. So see now, obviously, Indecisive has been passed by Sully there, so these Mercedes should now be free to race each other. Now, see, the question is Sully going to be able to close in back up into that DRS detection? I wonder a second. Meanwhile, you do have like Infamous and Jason, who do need to get past 2 more cars to then be free themselves to try catch up to the Mercedes up ahead. And Mason here was just starting to fall off the back a little. Maybe feel like he could do with Indecisive and TJ just not being very not, well, let's just say not being the most cordial of racers, and just holding them up.
In the pit lane right now, a little bit earlier for those medium sized, normally around about lap 13, I'd imagine 13, then 20, around about lap 26, and then I imagine set a soft tyres to the end if you can do it. That's always a possibility. I mean, because these soft tyres, like I said, they only last about 5-6 laps, so you don't want to be on them too long. As here you can see, as Infamous closes up, is he going to get close enough with the DRS? TJ's also got that DRS as well. Out comes Robin Proverb meanwhile, and look where he is. Right in between those guys nearly as well. So Robin Proverb is going to come into this race still later on, because he, on those medium tyres, a lot fresher than the 2 ahead of them, as you can see, Infamous. He's getting hounded right now as well by Jason. This is just not going the way he wants it to do. He needs to get past these medium runners as soon as possible. Where can you make a move? First opportunity is there, and that's a lunge, and he's made contact. He's made another one, and that's not what you want to be doing. As we mentioned earlier, he's aggressive. He wants to get through. He took a lunge. TJ had to open the door up, because otherwise they came together completely.
I'm just thinking at this moment, just can't quite find a way past. It will require a very much to be at one of them lunges that is just absolutely just from nowhere. As you can see, Robin Proverb, he's only pitted just now, so you'd be very happy with where he is at.
Mason as well. These guys all so close together, as these guys are still staying up. And this is really just helping the Mercedes right now. Look at them. Rageman, by the way, we haven't mentioned it, Rageman is leading. Here now in Barcelona, he's done the overcut strategy on these guys. As their team to have the inside there of Indecisive, they bang wheels, and these two coming together. I hope they haven't done each other damage, but here now, this is going to be the messy situation which Infamous doesn't want to get himself involved. As 2 cars up the road, right on board, as now at the inside there, Jason's capitalised. That's exactly the last thing. And Infamous is being swamped. He's being swamped. It's like a mugging. Here, he's down 2. He was trying to be, oh no, as Jason's off. Oh dear, it was looking like a mugging, and all of a sudden the one who's dropped it It's Jason who's potentially had some trouble, as now on the outside the Ferrari goes, as that there beautiful. I don't know if he's got damage, but Infamous caught napping.
I just say that was Infamous. He got caught napping, but Jason, it's gone wrong again. He had done so well to be in that kind of scrap, and when he makes the move on not only his teammate but another car as well, he's gotten past some of them.
Jacko, here's Jacko coming to take the lead, then Rageman. Can't do a lot about it. Inside line for the Mercedes, then late braking up the inside of turn 1. Gets the job done as finally comes in indecisive and Jet. And now Whopping Proverb under attack a little bit from Infamous. Not going to do it into turn number 1. TJ stays out for the time being, as you can see. Infamous on those now older medium tyres. That's not going to help. I'll tell you what, Whopping Proverb might try and do a set of soft tyres later on if he can stretch him to around about lap 26, 27, like I said, set of soft tyres. I'm wondering if Infamous is going to have to go on another set of mediums potentially, though.
Yeah. Maybe potential mediums. Obviously, Rageman, this worked brilliantly for him because he will be able to use the soft tyres later on this Grand Prix. That first stint worked absolute wonders for him, as not only did he gain positions, he was able to get lapped at the front while everyone else was trying to find their way through traffic, and now it looks like this race, it's in his court now. As you can see, he's catching Jacko, who's having to move a little to try to slip through, but was nowhere near enough. Rageman back into the lead, and now it's his job to try pull away.
Yeah, again, back through into the lead then. Jacko's going to have to try and recharge his batteries and come back at them. Meanwhile, down the field, looking at Infamous, still can't get past TJ. And TJ has been absolutely beautiful this afternoon in his defence on those 14 lap old mediums. Has held his own, and look at it, Whopping Proverb, who is whooping off into the distance again here. And this is a situation we are at. Is Infamous going to try and take a lunge here up the inside? He's tried it once and it's failed. He's not going to do it this time around. He's going to think the smart game, get the help of DRS, and surely now through exit of 9 into 10, he can try and get past TJ, who runs a little wide. Up he comes. He's not going to have a look up the inside then. No, he's not. He's going to get backed up if he's not careful. I tell you what, that really helps TJ, who's going to get a bit of better of a line. And are we going to see Infamous again take a lunge? No, he's not. He still can't do it. He's just stuck there. You can see him banging the rear of the Aston Martin. And he's definitely getting a little bit frustrated, I reckon, right now. Because he was in the chance of winning this race. And it's really slipping away right now. 13 seconds off the pace. As surely we're going to see TJ in this lap. Yes, we are. So he's finally been released. As through he comes. Finally, after 14 infuriating laps, Infamous finally gets some clean air up the road.
Yep, now it's to just try and prove to himself that he has the pace around here.
G on a set of softs.
See, I think his strategy now is
Two softs?
do about, yeah, he could do about
7 and 7, isn't it?
Yeah, lap 16 at 33, so this is just
8 and 8.
8 laps and softs. Considering that they're new, you could do it.
Indeed, whilst we have a little bit of a cool moment in this race, Rageman, talking of it, leads this race from Jacko in P2, then comes Sully in P3, and a Whopping Proverb in 4th, Infamous down in 5th, ahead of Mason in 6th, a little bit wide there from the McLaren driver behind them there. Jason trying to come back through into this race after that spin. I tell you, he's got a lot of pace in this car so far. He is closing right back up onto the back of Infamous as well ever so slightly after those guys got held up. Jamie in 8th position. Behind them, Kingan in 9th, ahead of Smith. TJ in 11th, indecisive, ahead of Jessica, down in 13th position. Matthias in to 14th. You having a giggle, meanwhile, having not a lot of fun, unfortunately, for him right now. He's had a few issues in this race. Down in 15th. It's going to get lapped in a soon enough as well. No safety cars this afternoon. Oh, 15 drivers still in this race.
Yep, all 15 drivers. It's been a very nice Grand Prix. Obviously, no safety cars, but we've had some brilliant racing with different strategies converging on track. As you've seen, some drivers have been unable to really make the most of new tyres to get past. It's sometimes the case of we meet two people in the ahead or have them at their stop, but obviously one's giving the other DRS, so it makes it very difficult, and it allows for some close racing. When one person makes a move, it all breaks loose.
I tell you what, you know, Brendan, with Rageman leading as Infamous down in 5th position, this is really going to switch the championship up. I don't think Rageman can take the championship lead here today. He will get, what, 25 points to Infamous. He's 5th. What's 5th position in terms of points? It's 10? 10, was it? Oh, we've got to try and work points out of my head now. I'll be never good at doing the points, but I think it's 25, what, 18, 15, 12, 10, yes. I think 10 or 9, one of the two of them is that. I think it's 10 points there. So it's going to be a 15-point thing. And what's the gap between them? It's 17 points. So it's going to be about 3 points difference so far in terms of who's got the fastest lap as well in this race. It is Rageman. So we're looking at a potential 2-point gap then at the top of the standings as things stand. If my maths is correct, which it usually isn't, but I think it's correct right there. It should be that. And don't forget, by the way, if you are just jumping in, we should also have the podium tier currently live on YouTube as well. So don't forget to say hello to those guys as well. And of course, we have the other tiers later on. We have is Precision at 7:30 to 7:45, and then of course we will have Pinnacle at 8:30, I think it is, as per usual. At least I think it's 8:30 off the top of my head. It always confuses me of everywhere everyone is, but it's one of those guys, and someone's going to correct me in the chat. I know my good friends always confirm it to me in there as well. And good to see Colin as well in the chat, our good old friend who of course always watches us along the action.
So now, with about, well, with 13-14 laps to go, now's the important time. As you let's see, Jacko probably thinking about a stop in maybe 2 or 3 laps just to complete the second stop, and that's where he needs to try push, because what Rageman looks like he is going to clear the field from 7th on the grid. With the mediums, we can see why he chose them, and I would say it's been a very good choice for him, as he is coming up now to lap you having the giggle, mate. So, I'd say it's been dominant for Richmond. The 20 points would be in order, plus a fastest lap point. So 21, I would say. Then Infamous, who is in 5th. I believe he would be getting about 10 points. So that would be having that championship lead. Well, just over, while having it +1, so it would be 18 points to 8. It's still on for this championship.
So this is going to hurt, isn't it, for Giggle? He's going to get lapped here, and it's got to be an awful feeling for anyone when you're coming up to get lapped. Yes, of course, these guys will have to do another stop. To be fair, though, saying that, as in comes Jamie, as in comes Jason as well, waiting for the last stops for another set of mediums. But like I said, this is going to hurt a little bit, isn't it?
Yeah, probably just it's going to hurt a little bit.
Here he comes, blue flags, ghosting system on, and let's see. I wouldn't be surprised. Well, we know Rageman's going to stay out until allow lap 24-25. Get a set of soft tyres on, as there you can see. Giggle getting out of the way, gets a penalty for it as well. Just for getting out of the way, for his troubles, that should be removed, I think, because he was getting out of the way. Right there is Jason and Jamie battling there. Is that there? Does it look like Jason and Jamie were together there? Is the down indicator there? But I think not. actually right there. Smithy closing up on the back of TJ as well, but so a few people starting to close up. There's in comes Sully. Now this will be triggering that undercut strategy and trying to get the thing. Where's he going to come out in terms of all these guys? Is he going to come out in nice clean air? I think he should do pretty easily.
Yeah, so Sully, he is going to come out. Yeah, looks like he'll be out in very much clean air.
That'll be good news. Might come out just ahead of TJ. It'd be awfully close. I think he might just come out behind. Should come out ahead of Jason.
Yeah, he's out ahead of Jason, so that is good news. But for Jason, the good news would be that well, that was almost bad news. I suppose Mason now, if you can catch TJ and pass, then it'll be very good for his race. I mean, Jason won't really get that chance to close up, but if he gets stuck behind for maybe a couple of laps, that's where the trouble starts to happen.
Jacko staying out for the time being. Lap 22 or 33 we've got. Meaning we've got now, what, 12 laps to go then in Barcelona. And when are we going to see these guys stopping? Well, I'll tell you what, who is stopping. You're having a giggle in the pit lane for a set of medium tyres to go on those cars for the last 11 laps of this race. Yellow flag and a retirement as well for Boot, which is our first retirement of this afternoon then. Is a real shame. Further down the field, by the way, and we do have Jason right up on the behind of Mason, who of course is closing up on the back of TJ with yellow flags. Is he going to be able to pass here, I'm wondering? Well, he's going to go through anyway, as into that position. Bit of a smoke up the road, is now through into 8th there as well. I think he should be allowed to keep that position by the game standards, as Giggle has left the session as well. But there you can see 8th for Jason, 9th for Mason, and those two rhyme pretty well together, I must say.
Indeed, that would be correct. The rhyme scheme is nice. So now lap 22, I think this is when Jacko should really pit by now, although he seems to be staying out now.
Going for the softs, you reckon? We're going to have 10 laps to go. The tyres can do around about 10 laps. They'll be struggling. But as long as he stays out, the best he can do. If you can stretch it to around about lap 13, and then go for a set of soft tyres, that'll work. In comes Infamous. This will be telling if he's going for a set of softs or mediums. And let's see, is that a set of yellows? It's a set of yellows, so a set of medium tyres then for him. Is that I see going on? Yep, on goes the yellow balls, out he comes. So he thinks a set of mediums is in comes Kingan, and he's also going for a set of mediums. So it looks like we're going to see a lot of people choosing the medium tyres then. Although I can surely imagine some going for a set of softs later on, as Jason passes TJ and Mason trying to follow suit. As into turn number 1, as there's Keegan battling with Jamie. Jamie has to get out of it there, as there would have been a contact down into turn number 1, as Keegan there comes out right on the racing, well, on the inside of turn number 1, might I say. It's so difficult to get a pass when you're coming out the pit lane. It is that little pinch point, and that's what it's there to do, and Jamie couldn't quite do it there.
Yeah, so just not quite it then for Jamie there. Honestly, this is not kind of the result he was looking for. A very promising start of the season, but it has tailed off now a little bit as we've moved past the halfway point. He would like to just get this move done on Kingan if he can, and just move a little further up. And also I think he will gain a position when TJ does pit. I believe he's only got the one stop. That would be right.
Oh, Jason dropped it! And how is he caught it? Yes, he just about has, but here comes TJ! Here comes TJ! Jason's gonna have to cover! And here we go to the outside. No, he almost put him in the wall there. An awful squeeze there as he almost does. And here now comes Mason, who thought about moving, had to back out, but Jason almost swerved right into TJ's path there. And I don't know if he didn't see him or covered too late, but that almost was a horrible accident.
So It's just all it takes is that one little piece of contact, and it can go so wrong. Was it? Thankfully for them two, they've managed to avoid it. They go on with their races. So let's see now. Jacko, who's a bit behind Rageman at this point,
stays out.
Looks like
he's going for softs.
Yeah, definitely. I think he just wants to try be on equal footing here.
Proverb in, that'll be for a set of soft tyres up the inside, and that's not going to work. They bang, they bang, they bang, 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 bang. They're going to bang it down, and they really bang this time. And this is like some touring car moments here. Look at this. These two not giving each other an inch. Bang, bang, bang on the grass, on the outside, and this is going to end in contact again. And they're all getting all sorts of contact there and that there. Very, very naughty. In comes TJ's Brokers from wing. Through comes Keegan. And there, unfortunately, that was very touring car-esque. Not Formula 1-esque, I must say, but brilliant.
No, TJ didn't have a front wing broken, actually. I think he's just decided to make that final stop now. Then he, rather than be stuck in that fight, which was only going to cost him in his race. So now, as Heath went in for a second stop, we're going to see now if anyone at the front is going.
Set us off to Proverb. Set us off to Proverb. I've just noticed it. I don't know if you're just, well, presumably you just noticed it because I've just said it. But that's going to be in trouble then for Sully. I tell you what, Jacko staying out is what he's doing so far. I tell you what, what's the gap to behind? 25 seconds, so he's safe. But I wouldn't want to be staying like this for too long.
Yeah, if Waffy Prophet gets past, he'll need to probably come in just to safeguard P2.
I tell you, this is going to infuriate Infamous even more because he's came in for a set of medium size. I think he could have came in for a set of softs, you know. I really do, because look here is Waffy Proverb. He's all over the back of Sully right now. And Sully, he can try and cover the inside line all he likes, but it's not going to work because he's going to through anyway. And there he is, up through into the podium positions for Proverb, as now trying to come through again is Infamous, who is still just stuck behind another car, as Keegan passing Jason. Jason now down into 7th position, as now 5th for Infamous. And I tell you what, he's gonna be trying to get past Sully, and up front, waiting for your top 2 to still come in.
Yeah, so yeah, I believe apart from Indecisive and Jess, the top 2 are the only 2
Yellow
to loss.
flag, and that is that Indecisive lost his front wing safety, virtual safety car. And there is our first of the afternoon. I tell you what, Rageman and Jackie are going to come straight in the pit lane. This is going to really help them. Look, this is the perfect timing for them.
Not sure what Jacko was doing there. Just cost him. He just dropped a couple of seconds there for nothing, really.
Could have got caught out potentially there with seeing that as out he comes. Lid, like I said, lost a lot of time. If it depends how long this virtual safety car stays out, he might be able to regain some of that time as we come through. Like I said, look, he's lost a load of time. 9 seconds now he's lost, and you can see behind Sully in the pit lane for a set of soft tyres. Oh, and a drive-through penalty for Matthias. And what rotten luck.
Oh, and let's see, Sully in for a 3rd stop. That's an interesting call. Oh yeah. Sorry. Well, we are back. I just saw that. That was Jess is in.
Yeah, Jess in. Sully in for his 3rd stop. Like I said, on the set of soft tyres. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that then. I was like, I just said that. But there we go. In he comes. And this is going to be interesting. I don't know what this order's going to be. I tell you what, Jason and Keegan together. And these two have been feisty little buggers, haven't they?
Yeah, interesting anyway. Keegan, he's had a quiet race, really. He had a bit of an off there on lap 1. But he's managed to come back very nicely into this race, and he should be able to get P5 here, whether or not he does. Well, even if he doesn't pass Jason,
he doesn't need to pass him, but he probably wants to pass him anyway because you know these drivers like let him on to get through as soon as they can. And up the road they go then. Bit of a squiggly on the rear end, but keeps it all in check. I tell you what, I really don't know why Jacko lost that much time. It really cost him. Infamous, first lap of this race on the mediums. He's pushing it, isn't he? And he wants to do it as we
That's
run.
soft. I think that's a graphical error.
Is it a graphical error?
Yeah, it's strange, but it seems like, yeah, for whatever reason, Codemasters just had a little graphic error there.
Is it saying on the Taz it's on mediums?
No, softs.
Okay, so yeah, my apologies, lad. So he is on a set of soft tyres, so never mind me. I tell you what, Lo, look at that, Lo. Yellow. That's not good for him, is it? Yellow fuel indicator. This could be a little bit of trouble. He's safe so far because it's not in the red, but if it does drive into the red, he might be in big, big trouble. But luckily for him, he's got a huge gap behind. Front though, Rageman leads this race, 10 seconds so far from the man who is doing what he needs to do then. Jacko in second, Proverb in third, Rageman with the first lap of this race, then comes Kingham. Sully down in 9th position. I do not know why he stopped for that set of soft tyres. It would have guaranteed a 4th, at least a 5th potentially, and he stayed out. And he certainly could have stayed out. He's on his 3rd stop. It's going to cost him a lot of points. He could try and come back through and get 1 or 2 of them, but he's not going to be anywhere near these guys unless, of course, something happens. But we're running out of laps so far. I tell you what, Jess down in 12th as well. I don't know why she didn't stop either. Actually, no, she had to stop. My apologies then. So that is her 2nd stop this afternoon. But down in 12th, so our top 10 point scoring streaks potentially looks like it could be over. But it's been quite a nice little race, Brendan, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has been a very nice race, especially the fact you haven't had the need for a safety car to make it an interesting race. Despite the 11-second gap for Richmond, we have seen a lot of battling here for positions, with different strategies converging at different points in the race. As we had that train earlier on, and I see some people probably lost out a bit, and others, but they really gained from it. Thanks to Rageman, who was able to run his own race, did gain from it. That's split for Kingan.
Virtual safety car.
Oh,
has he lost his nose? He has
car.
lost his nose. That's a proper flop on the wall, isn't it? And somehow, we still haven't got a safety car. And that's all going to help a few people, isn't it? Get their tyres. I tell you what, King can come in the pit lane. He shouldn't drop too far down the order as well. That's a real shame, though. That's going to... Oh, no! Into the pit wall! And out of the Spanish Grand Prix. And that might be a full safety car now. He couldn't get it stopped. And the front left tyre has fallen off. And is it a safety car?
No.
It is not. So. Somehow, not a safety car. I don't know how. But the game doesn't like when people do that, but that's a real shame. In comes Smithy in the pits. But that is so horrible as well. I tell you what, this is going to promote this might promote Jess up into the top 10 again, isn't it?
Yeah, that's...
Garrett's enabled, we are back running again then. So, here we are. As Rageman still leads from Jacko, a 9-second gap now. It's closed ever so slightly. Proverb, that infamous, who's took a little bit of a mistake right there, it looked like. Rear end snapped on him. Jason in 5th, ahead of the McLaren of Mason in 6th. So Jason and Mason lines up together. Then comes Jamie. Then comes Sonny, TJ and 9th. Jess back in the top 10 again, which you love to see. Smithy, who just stopped, I believe, was that for his 3rd stop? Yeah, it is his 3rd stop, so I don't know why he stopped as well. As yellow flag, there's Jamie off! Jamie off!
Oh.
Dear oh dear! And another one making a mistake there, and he dropped it on the inside curve, presumably, and then got maybe on the outside. As well, it's awful again. Another car having an issue, and I tell you what, that's just helping Sully, isn't it? Right now, he can now take a bit of relax. So we're going to see Jamie in the pits, or has he got his tyres to grip back up? I think he's got the tyres to grip back up, which is nice to see.
Yeah, they... Doesn't look like he's lost much from that spin, so that's it for... so I suppose it's not really consequential. And it looks like this race, everyone's thinned out pretty much now. Nobody really in the DRS gap, so it looks like a calm end to what was a bit of a chaotic race.
It certainly is indeed. Here we are then, the penultimate lap then, here in Barcelona. It is Rageman leading from Jacko, who took pole. He won't take little race win yet, though, because we've still got a lap and a bit to go. Proverb in third, a long way ahead of Infamous, who's going to get 12 points this afternoon then, so 12 to what is 26 then, so a 14-point shift in the championship towards Rageman this afternoon. Jason in 5th will drop down behind Mason, who is within 6 seconds, who's currently in 6th. 7th for Sully, who's trying to close up a little bit then, but it's not enough so far to get into that top 5, I don't think. Jamie in 8th, TJ in 9th, then comes Jess, then we've got Smithy, who is closing up a little bit, but I don't think close enough, needs to get a few more seconds. Matthias in 12th, indecisive, down in 13th after losing his ring earlier on this afternoon. And here comes Rageman then, through the last corner to begin the last lap.
Yeah, it's been a dominant performance by Rageman from 7th on the grid. The choice of mediums in qualifying has proved to be a master stroke, as he was able to run his own race, come out ahead. He was passed momentarily, but he regained the lead, and it's been plain sailing pretty much ever since. Yeah. I would have to say that has been really good for him. So in Infamous only 4th. It does mean he's been able to close up that bit on championship lead. Obviously, not as bad as it would have been if he finished 5th. So it'd probably be around, let's say, 10 points now the difference then, with about 4 races to go.
Yep, Jacko in P2. Finally, he's going to get some positions on his board. He's finally going to finish a race after not finishing the last 2 on the trot. There he comes, and doesn't drop it right now, which he doesn't. Which was my theory, he was going to do it right there, but he doesn't. He's going to get some points on the board finally for Jacko, who has had a torrid couple of races, but looks like he's going to come all gold for him right now then. So, but up front, talking of the gold, it's the orange and blue coming through the last corner, and Mercedes might have snatched the pole, but it's the win for the cars of Rageman. He'll finish in 2nd, as there off the road has gone Infamous. He's dropped the car, and that's big trouble for him, but he's going to finish there. Jacko finally gets his best result from Belgium. 2nd, Proverb in 3rd. Infamous is going to cross the line in 4th on a stuttering engine as he crosses the line there ahead of Jason Mason low. He's going to get 5th. He's going to get 5th here, I think. Let's see, 4.8 seconds with a 6-second gap, so he's easily going to get 5th position. Across the line he comes. 5th for him. Sully across the line will only be 7th. Couldn't quite do it. 1.5 off for him. Jamie in 8th. Then we got TJ in 9th, and Jess, who's getting caught like a rapid bulldog by Smithy, though I think Smithy might just have this one not out of his reach. Though I think Jess, like I said, will just get this one done. As through she comes, then just ahead of Smithy, the last 2 cars to finish off through, and Jess, who finishes 100% top 10 scoring record this season so far, with another top 10 for her, which is nicely done indeed. Smith crossed the line in 11th, but it's Rageman who's going to close the championship up to, I believe, 4 points now at the top of the standings.
So yeah, that is it. That's it. It's not bad there for Rageman. Probably the round he needed. So it's just, well, can he continue this in the next couple of races?
Yeah, the championship closes right up then. Rageman, who I believe that's his first victory of the season as well. And that is a way to do it in style, ahead of Jacko. Third for Wobbin Proverb, who did a fantastic race, by the way, as well, from 14th on the grid to 4th at the end, serving his of course, penalty as well. I think that might be a shout-out contender for Driver of the Day. Though, let's see, who are you going to give your Driver of the Day to, Brendan?
Well, as you said, Rage Man. So, let me think. Actually, a whopping Proverb. He came from 14th to 3rd. Now, so just have to ask him, given that engine penalty, where did you actually expect you would have ended up compared to where you did end up? And did you think this was anywhere near a realistic result given you had the engine penalty?
Indeed. My question to Rageman, as it was the thing disappeared before I got a chance to look at it because I didn't realise it was counting down, but my question to Rageman, of course, is you took the win then here in Barcelona. It was a beautiful drive, but how are you feeling now the championship closes up, and with the next 4 races looking to be a cracker, can you close that gap now? Indeed, and there is my questions to them, and of course we shall round it up because I do believe that the other tier should be live in the next few moments. Of course, I believe it is Precision live next, and that will be in just a little bit of time, 15 minutes as well. So I have been Mr. Evil, or Liam. Thank you very much for Brendan for joining me yet again in this comment box. Until next time, take care and goodbye. Do, do, do.